Those people who embrace AI, adopt with AI, and learn with AI will become more efficient, more effective as this era transforms. Those that resist will have challenges. Evolution is here. The cat is already out.
As artificial intelligence accelerates, we're witnessing a revolution comparable to the Industrial Revolution. Only this time, it's digital and faster. According to PwC, AI could add up to $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030, reshaping industries at a speed we've never seen before. In this episode, we'll explore how AI is not just transforming productivity, but revolutionizing the future of work. Imagine running a business that processes millions of transactions daily, far beyond human capacity. AI is making that a reality. According to McKinsey, companies that have implemented AI report an average of 40% increase in productivity levels. In this episode, we'll uncover how AI is becoming the backbone of efficiency across industries, driving growth and innovation.
While the foundations of modern AI were set decades ago, some of which from our own faculty here at KAUST, we are using it everywhere in the world. We're feeling it every day, even though some of us don't realize that. This is why I always like to say that AI is no longer the future, but it's actually the present.
I think we're looking toward an era of, untold abundance and health, which will be amazing to experience. On the other hand, even if my optimistic outlook is right, I can see there may be some intervals of tumult before we get there, right?
Every day, AI systems process billions of data points today, making decisions that would have taken humans years to compute. According to Gartner, 83% of companies say AI is critical to their future strategy. Today, we'll see how AI is not just assisting, but driving smarter, faster, and more accurate decisions across different sectors, from healthcare diagnostics to fraud detection.
AI is a broad field of science. It can be broken down into multiple ways, but one popular categorization of the field of AI depends on the type of data that it handles. So based on this categorization, there are 4 forms, usually. One is machine learning, which innovates methods and models that can accurately, efficiently, and fairly process data, general data. The subfield of machine learning that actually is driving the AI revolution right now is called deep learning. And this is based on models called deep neural networks. The second form has to do with visual data. It's called computer vision. And it focuses on building models to understand images, videos, 3D data, 4D data, and so forth. A third form has to do with language. It's called natural language processing, or NLP. And you see this in very popular tools like large language models that are fueling the great agents that people are using all around the world, like ChatGPT, Mistral, Gemini, and so forth. The fourth form, which is very exciting, is robotics, where AI is actually embedded in physical systems that are automating tasks in the real world, tasks that humans would do, but a robot can do faster in a more safe way, probably.
AI has been growing fairly gradually and consistently, really, since before I was born, not just the last 20 years. I mean, the AI field was officially founded in the late 50s, but really started stirring a decade or two before that, say with that Norbert Wiener's book, Cybernetics, from 1948.
Imagine teaching a child to solve puzzles. Now picture that child learning to solve puzzles you can't even understand. That's where AI is headed. According to experts, AI systems currently operate at 90% human accuracy. And by the year 2030, AI could outperform humans in many key areas. We're not just automating tasks, we're entering an era where machines could think and create at levels beyond our imagination.
The way I think about where we are with AI is we're about where a parent is with a 6-month-old baby. It sort of dawned on us that this thing isn't going anywhere. When it does something clever, it's one of the most delightful things you've ever experienced in your life. But we've also started to realize after a few sleepless nights this is going to be hard. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in order for AI to live up to the potential we all know exists. We need to do data work, we need to think about the ethics of it, etc. And I think that's what's starting to become real for everyone, is the amount of hard work that we're going to have to do over the next 5 years for this thing to create the value that we know it can.
We don't yet have AI systems that can learn from their own experience and learn who they are and who others are, like human babies do even. We're just building different kinds of systems. I think 2029 may end up being about spot on for human level AGI, although it won't shock me if we're a few years earlier or a few years later. It's something that will either be very frightening or very exciting or both to any observer, depending on their emotional makeup.
Generative AI is more than just a buzzword. It's redefining how we create and innovate. By 2027, nearly 50% of all web content is expected to be generated by AI, according to IDC. Just as a painter starts with a blank canvas, AI is now creating new art, writing, and even creating strategies from scratch. This isn't just automation. This is a creative revolution powered by AI.
What really is Gen AI at its core? Simply put, it's basically a deep learning model trained to create new data and not only analyze patterns in this data. The core principle behind Gen AI and how it's trained is very basic. Imagine an AI model that finds a cure for cancer, or fights climate change, or other existential human challenges. Of course, this form of AI is still far-fetched, and massive amounts of investment and innovation are still needed to have it realized.
Vish, we haven't talked about generative AI yet. Help us understand this era of generative AI. It's everywhere. Incredible things are happening with generative AI. How can this be an era that brings some new change to what we do and how we do things? How do students use generative AI when they're going into, exam readiness? There's a lot of disruption here. And what generative AI has really done, and again, we've got to move people's views from chatbots to conversational AI, which obviously generative AI is developed and developing towards. We're seeing a lot of investment in the market around building large language models, getting better large language models. Here at Contexa, what we're investing our time and energy is how do you feed trusted proprietary data into large language models, using things like entity resolution on how we connect data, building knowledge graphs out of data to allow the human to have a conversation through conversational AI, but allowing those models to use knowledge graphs and connected data to feed it with recommendations. That's where we're spending our energy. Big, large tech providers are investing millions, hundreds of millions into the next language set, making those gains, which is great. There's also great stuff that's available in the open source market. And that's going to be a race, and people will continue investing. But for here at Contexa, getting that trusted view of data right, to feed generative AI, make it more conversational with the right data, with the right recommendations, that's when the tire hits the road.
Here is a striking figure. According to the World Economic Forum, 85 million jobs may be displaced by AI by 2025. But 97 million new roles are expected to emerge. This is not about machines taking over. It's about reshaping work. But with this power comes responsibility. Ethical AI is no longer optional. It's essential for creating systems that are fair, transparent, and accountable.
Help us understand what is the path of least resistance when it comes to AI adoption, implementation for a business, an organization, a company, a sector, an industry. Where do people get started?
What we saw, and it's been a journey, to be fair, Ian, over the last couple of years around AI adoption. And if I wind the clock back 18 months or so ago, many organizations, banks, government, insurers, and so on, were actually asking me to attend C-suite board meetings as a speaker to demystify AI. So it almost became this thing, AI is there, we need a project on AI. What business problem are you looking to solve? Are you trying to solve problems in protecting your organization? Cyber, financial crime, fraud. Are you trying to solve business problems around becoming more efficient? Cost, process. Or are you trying to solve problems to grow your business? And then, once you put your hat on a few use cases, problems, business problems, then does AI help you enable the solution to solve those problems? And then when you processed it like this, it really, became more meaningful, that we're not just doing an AI project. It also helped adoption. If you look at a carpenter 40 years ago, 50 years ago, he or she used to hang maybe 2 or 3 doors a day because they had the screwdriver, and to put the door up used to take some time. You've got to screw in the screws in the door, put the hinges up, and one carpenter could do maybe 3 doors a day because they had to screw it in. Then somebody invented the electric drill. That carpenter didn't lose his job. What the electric drill allowed that carpenter to do is not do 3 doors a day, but 10 doors a day. He became a lot more efficient, a lot more effective because the screws went in a bit harder, quicker, faster, maybe better. But he didn't lose his job. He became more efficient. That disruption is where we are today.
There's this sort of general anxiety that AI might replace our jobs. But what we found actually is that one of the ways artificial intelligence can be most useful is in greatly accelerating and augmenting the learning process, in making HR services more accessible and easier to use for employees, and as well as a way to better listen to what employees are telling us that they want or they need or that they're encountering as challenges. AI is excellent at all of those things. We've also found that AI can be an incredibly useful insight tool and automation capability in the context of risk management. Everything from fighting financial crime and fraud to helping evaluate credit risk decisions. I don't think AI is sort of ethical or unethical by itself, but it forces us to come up with a really clear point of view on what is an ethical outcome. If we're going to use artificial intelligence in a hiring process, what does an equitable hiring process look like? And therefore, how do we instruct the AI? And having that conversation across every function in an organization, across procurement, about how we interact with customers, about how we relate to our employees, is a lot of work.
Are we able to trust the decisions that AI systems make? And why would we trust AI with our data, with the fact that it brings data together or does these different calculations?
So just to unpack that, now, first thing, humans make mistakes. Humans sometimes get decisions wrong. If that's in areas like diagnosis of within healthcare, if that's blocking a transaction when it was genuine. Humans make decisions, humans get it right, humans also get it wrong. So I think what we've got to be very clear, the bar. The second thing, when we're talking about operationalizing AI or operationalizing data and analytics, you've got to have the right governance, the right process, the right education, the right training, right across the organization. It is a big people, process, technology, and data transformation, not just an AI transformation.
Right now, over 70% of daily trading in global financial markets is managed by artificial intelligence systems, according to Bloomberg. These algorithms process trades faster than a blink of an eye, transforming the financial landscape. AI in finance isn't just about speed, it's about precision, risk reduction, and market foresight. Today, we'll delve into how AI is reshaping global finance in ways most of us never see, but all of us feel.
AI is already dominating the global financial world, but mostly behind the scenes in ways that the everyday common person doesn't see. On the other hand, the everyday common person is heavily impacted by what AI is doing in finance today, because AI is serving to extract money from the everyday common person and put it in the pockets of very large, wealthy entities which are running sophisticated AI systems carrying out financial transactions on global markets, right?
Let's talk about financial services and this whole big area of financial services. Help us understand what is happening behind the scenes in financial services when it comes to data, artificial intelligence. What is Contexa doing in some areas?
Many organizations, and going double-clicking just in financial services, they've been on a data transformation for 10 plus years. If that goes back to 2008 in the financial crisis, if that goes through the disruption we've seen across the multi-walls that we're going through today, if that goes across COVID and that disruption it caused in supply chains, in the way we go to market, etc., financial services have had to adopt. And those organizations which have had access to data, have had a data transformation or a data strategy, have been agile enough to go through these different waves. Data transformation has been there for a long time. Multiple organizations are on that journey. Some are completing their phase 1, their phase 2, and so on. What I've seen firsthand in many of these organizations, Ian, is the ability to bring together internal data as well as external data to make those better decisions. Because you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes bringing data from the outside in, that's information that my bank knows. They know that because I've put it on my applications, they see my transactional data, they see I'm employed by Contexa, etc. But then when you bring the power of external data, company register information, corporate structure information, suddenly you start seeing that Vish is not just an individual, he's also a director of a company called Contexa. Has been a journey that many organizations, many financial services organizations have been doing for some time. Contexa is uniquely positioned and uniquely solving this problem, because this problem is a big data problem.
The relation between AI and blockchain is complex and multifaceted, but I do think it will grow during the coming years. AI has great power to improve the efficiency and performance of blockchains. One of the projects I'm involved with, the spin-off of SingularityNet, is called Hypercycle, which is creating a ledgerless blockchain which can carry out transactions at incredible speed and scale and low cost. But part of what enables Hypercycle is machine learning running at tremendous speed to help identify potential frauds and scams in the network, right? You need AI to help blockchain operate in a safe, fast, and scalable way.
AI is more than a tool. It's a force multiplier for human potential. According to Accenture, by the year 2035, AI could boost labor productivity by up to 40%. The revolution isn't just coming, it's here. But the future of AI is not a passive journey, it's an active one. It's up to us to harness this technology for the betterment of society.
Things are changing at a pace we've never seen before. The interesting thing is, in a couple of years, they're likely to be changing even faster, and none of us can predict exactly what changes are going to happen in what order. I'm fairly confident, on a personal level anyway, on an emotional level, I'm fairly confident all this is going to come out for the best for the human species.
I believe to have a world that's more efficient, where services reach us faster, where critical healthcare reaches people faster, where we're able to, say, diagnose disease faster and really improve the quality of life for the general human population on this planet. And of course, there's many problems that need to be solved. There's climate change, there's poverty, there's more problems out there than we are solving.
With compute power on the rise, with storage access on the rise, with data permissioning allowed in different areas and segments, it's going to be really exciting. But one thing I would also put caution, the ability to create standards on AI is going to be really fundamental to trusting AI. I'm not here to talk about regulating AI or not regulating AI, but creating standards is the key first step, because we must have these standards. We must have these standards for organizations to deploy and run and trust AI, but also to ensure that we don't go into issues like hallucination, using AI for wrong. These are really important things. And this has happened in any technology evolution. If it's the phone, if it's the laptop, if it's the computing, we need some of these standards, open standards, global standards, to come in, keep AI honest without disrupting innovation. Because innovation is here and it will continue to go on. Being a technology for 20 plus years, what I've seen in the last 2 has been truly mind-boggling because it's going at speed.
The future, I believe, is people, technology, and so many different forms of technology that are evolving, learning and growing your knowledge, upskilling. Like, all this is very pivotal to our success in the future, and we can't talk enough about this.
Hey friends, my name is Ian Khan, the Futurist. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the series. A lot is happening in the world, and we collectively need to work together on understanding what's happening and then propelling ourselves into the future. As part of the Futurist series, we bring critical stories from across different industries to you so that you can be informed of what is important. Support our journey by sharing these episodes with your friends and colleagues, and also suggest and recommend people to us who are innovating, who are creating new boundaries, and who are creating the future. We are always looking for companies, individuals, and everyone out there who's creating a positive change. Take care.